y'all. So I've been having a few questions from people about the radio, again, the Uconnect radio, and particularly asking about using an aftermarket radio. And I know, let's say, for those of you who are, I'm 31, and for those of you who are older, and you know, you may have had cars that were older, and we would sometimes swap out the radios and put in, like, you know, the newer fancy radios. I guess, well, back then, you know, it was dope to have a CD player, and you could have the navigation put in. You know, different aftermarket radios offer different features or better features. But in my opinion, as far as adding an aftermarket radio to Challengers or Chargers per se, I don't really see the purpose of doing it. I mean, you can, and I've heard of people who have done it. Places like Best Buy, you know, sell different radios to where you can, you know, yeah, you can have them installed. I mean, but, you know, when you install aftermarket radios, you have to look at the dash kits, you know, for the particular type of car that you have. And, I mean, it's just point blank period. I don't see it being necessary to install an aftermarket radio, especially for these particular cars. Because for one, like I said, the kit that you're going to have to use to install it, or get to install it, I mean, they don't really have them like that. I mean, you might be able to find some aftermarket ones at like a flea market, you know, somewhere like that. But, so that's one reason. And the second reason is because the Uconnect system, whether you have the 5-inch radio or the 8.4-inch radio, the radio is really integrated, is deeply integrated into the car itself, and you know, it's got its own functions and everything. So I mean, I just personally wouldn't recommend doing that. And I'll give you an example. So certain things that you can control, whether you have the radio 8.4-inch or the 5-inch radio, is your daytime running lights. If you wanted to turn those on, that's controlled through your radio. Also, your steering control, you know, whether you want to put it on comfort, normal, or sport, that's controlled through the radio. So if you have an aftermarket radio, then you just can't control it at all. I mean, now, if you do have an aftermarket radio, then from what I've seen from some people, is you can still control your climate control and you know, your volumes and like your steering buttons and everything will still work. But when you have, especially if you have, let's say if you already have an 8.4-inch radio and you say, oh, I want a different, let's say you have like I have a 2016, but this 8.4-inch doesn't come with like the Apple CarPlay or the Android Play. Now, let's say you get a radio that has the Apple CarPlay and the Android Play, then I mean, yeah, that you can get that benefit, but then it's just you'll be losing out on so much more. Like, you know, you want to have your performance pages, and I mean, everyone gets the cars for different reasons, but like you won't have your performance pages. You won't be able to, like I said, control your daytime running lights. You won't be able to control your steering. If you have like a scat pack or something higher, you know, where you can actually control your suspension and stuff, you won't be able to change any of that. You can't do that on the cluster, on the instrument cluster. So it's way more beneficial to just go ahead and keep the factory radio, the factory radio that comes with the car, because you're gonna just be losing out. You're gonna be losing way more than you gain. The system is a great system. There's no reason to, in my opinion, there's no reason to get a different aftermarket system for the car. So just to answer some of you guys' questions, no, I don't think an aftermarket radio is a good fit for these particular cars. The 8.4 Uconnect has everything that you could possibly want, and not only that, they do software updates. So anything that you don't have, eventually you may have it. And that also avoids how, let's say, if you did invest in, let's say, the taser, for instance, that's another thing that's going to be pointed out too. I mean, you